Hi everyone, it's Dr. Sinta, and I'm here to bust 10 myths associated with GLP-1 weight loss medications. Are you ready? Let's do it. Number one, GLP-1 medications cause small bowel obstructions. That is actually incorrect. They don't by themselves cause small bowel obstructions, but if you are predisposed to that small bowel obstruction because you have something called gastroparesis, then it will come out when you are on this medication. So it's important to know your history. You don't want a small bowel obstruction. It can actually be life-threatening. And it's the way that you'll know that you have it is you'll have trouble getting your food down and you won't go to the bathroom anymore. So the two together, not good. You throw up, nothing goes through you. So you want to keep a close eye on that, but it is definitely not caused by the GLP-1 itself. Okay, number two, GLP-1s cause extreme muscle loss. This is a tough one. We do believe that there may be a mechanism by which they increase muscle loss, even despite the fact that people are doing the wrong thing, and that is people are not eating on these medications. So if you don't eat because you're not hungry and no one's following you, then you are going to definitely lose muscle. So what can you do about that? Well, first of all, you can make sure that you're eating enough protein. Try to get half your weight and at minimum in grams of protein. Number two, you can do strength exercising. That will help a lot. And number three, take creatine, 5 grams a day, which will help maintain muscle mass. Those things will help you, but you still have to eat and you have to have a good nutrition plan. Number three, if you stop your GLP-1 medication, you will gain all your weight back. This is a very tricky one. We do think that, well, with any disease, if you stop a medication, that disease is going to come back. So if you stop your blood pressure pills, your blood pressure is going to go up again. So with weight loss, it's the same thing. Obesity is a disease. If you stop the medication that's helping you fight that disease, then you gain some weight back. There is something very different with weight loss that the body tries to do, and it's called going back to your set point or metabolic adaptation. And metabolic adaptation occurs by making you more hungry, increasing hunger hormones like ghrelin, making you less satiated, and decreasing your metabolism. All those things fight against you to try to get you back to your previous weight. But the good news is this: if you take your medications and continue to stay on them, you're going to keep the weight off. And the key to doing this with GLP-1s is finding that right dose that is going to make you not hungry so that you're gaining, but also not so full that you're continuing to lose. So it's basically titrating that dose down for you. Next one, number 4, GLP-1s cause cancer. Well, there is a very strange cancer called medullary thyroid cancer they did find that it did occur in rodents, but not in any humans so far. So that's good. There's no concern about that. What's very interesting is they're studying these drugs for obesity-related cancers, and they're finding that actually it can be protective in some of these cancers. And these are cancers of like the breast, the colon, the uterus, the kidneys, and the liver. So quite the opposite of what you're hearing, which is really great. And I think we're going to learn more and more that these drugs do a lot more than we thought. Okay, number 5. While you're on GLP-1s, you will always get Ozempic face or Ozempic butt, or both. Well, that's actually not true, but you might see people that have it. And the reason is, as we just mentioned, these drugs make you not hungry at all. So if you're not on a good nutrition plan, you're going to lose weight. And where you're going to lose it from is from your muscle, your fat first, and then your muscle second. And you're going to get withdrawn. You'll see your face withdrawn. Your pants will hang off you, and you may get those they're not diseases, but those terms, Ozempic butt and Ozempic face. But in reality, it's just related to not having enough protein and not eating enough in general. Number 6, GLP-1s are dangerous. Okay, so this is a conflicting one as well. By themselves, when you're being followed by a medical team that's taking care of your nutrition and your exercise and your water and your sleep, these medications are very safe. But if you're buying it over the internet and there's nobody that's following you up and you're going higher on your dose than you should, which no one's following you so you won't know, then you can get really, really sick. And as mentioned before, these drugs make you not hungry. They also make you not thirsty. So not only will you not eat, you won't drink. And when that happens, that can really put you in a very scary place. So It all has to do with follow-up. It has to do with having a good nutrition plan and taking care of yourself by means other than just relying on the drug. Number 7, GLP-1s make autoimmune diseases worse. So first of all, you want to know what an autoimmune disease is, and it's a disease where the body attacks itself, and it occurs in conditions like rheumatoid arthritis, psoriasis, ankylosing spondylosis, and systemic lupus. And so those are diseases that are very horrible to have. But the beautiful thing about GLP-1 medications is even without the weight loss, those drugs do help put people in remission. And I've had actually a couple patients that have gotten on these to lose maybe 10 pounds, but have stayed on them because not just to keep that weight loss, but also because they just feel so good in terms of their autoimmune diseases. So I think we're going to see these drugs take over to fight some of these autoimmune diseases because they do work so well for that. Okay, number 8. With GLP-1s, you can start and stop a dose at any time and go right back on your dose just like any other medication. And the answer to that is absolutely not. And this is something that is really, really hard for me to handle as a physician who watches people struggle through these side effects, and knowing that some people aren't being followed and aren't being carefully watched during this time. These medications, when you miss a dose, you have to actually go back down to the lower dose, and you have to be able to get that drug from your pharmacy or from your insurance company, which is very challenging sometimes. So there's nuances that go along with dosing, and one very important one is you can't stop the medication and then restart it where you were, and you can't just suddenly go up on it either. You're going to feel sick. So very important to remember that. Okay, we're up to number 9. Number 9 is GLP-1s are a quick fix for weight loss. Well, I think we've already made it very clear that they can be very dangerous. They can, dangerous if not followed, I guess I should say. Certainly not by themselves, but when you're not being followed, they can put you in a lot of peril. And the other thing that you need to make sure you do is when you're on these drugs, you need to have a good nutritional plan, as we mentioned. You need to exercise. You need to make sure you're drinking your water, and you need to sleep. All these things are all part of a good weight loss routine and should be expected with these medications as well. And number 10, GLP-1s have a low abandonment rate. And that is actually not true. It has about a 50% abandonment rate in 6 to 12 months. Oh, I do hope that bee goes away. And in 6 to 12 months, 50% of the people who are taking GLP-1s are no longer taking them. So very high abandonment rate. I think it's going to be lower if you're being followed, if you have a good nutrition plan. I know I sound like a broken record, but all those things have to be part of the plan in order for you to be able to successfully take these drugs, move up on these drugs, and stay on the right dose of these drugs to keep your weight off long term. Okay, so I hope that was helpful for you. If this was helpful and you like learning about hormone regulation or weight loss or dermatology of different kinds, which we'll talk about on our program, just like or subscribe down below, and there'll be more fact finding and myth busting coming up. So stay tuned. Have a great day.